morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching us or wherever you're watching us from. Welcome back again to another episode of Bramble Talk.
You're
And
welcome.
with me here today, I have,
Moyemi Adeyayo.
my name is Evelyn Olanio, and we have a special guest in our midst
Yes, yes.
today, and we would love for her to introduce herself to us. You're welcome, ma.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much for inviting me. So, my name is Oduayo Aliu, and I am the director of Bramble Network.
Okay, so if you've been hearing us mention appreciation to Miss Odunayo Aliu,
We have her here on the show.
we have her here on the show. Yeah, so today we'll be talking on a very important topic, which we believe is a very major one for every school owner and every teacher. So please, if you are just joining us, please kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And if you're an educator, invite another educator to subscribe and watch our previous videos and this recent videos, because it's going to be a boom.
Yes.
So I would like Omoyemi to introduce the topic to us.
All right. Thank you, Evelyn. So, like you said, it's a very important topic, and today we are going to be talking about child safety. We have a lot of things have been going on around, and this topic is very necessary. It's needed for us. So our guest speaker, I would like you to explain the meaning of child safety, because I think there are so many definitions around it. So, like, what does child safety mean to you?
Okay, child safety basically means safeguarding children. So it's a word, two different words that summarize all the activities that we do, as educators, as schools, as parents, to just make sure that children are protected from violence, from exploitation, and all sort of abuse.
Okay.
Okay. So I want to believe that this, from the definition, child safety is something that is important to every education stakeholders, both the parents, the teachers, the school owners, and everyone involved in taking care of a child.
Yeah.
All right, Ma, I want to ask: are there any policy around child safety?
Yes, a lot of policies. So, and I think the major one will be the Child Rights Act by the UN. So it's a document that specifies all the rights that children have. So these rights actually cut across, I think about four. You can put them in like four categories: right to survival, right to protection, which is what we're talking about today, right to participation. So you see things like children has a voice. They can, they have the right to express their mind, things like that. So that document actually takes care of this topic that we're discussing today, child safety. So it highlights the things that children have rights to. Also, I believe that across every country also specify, different safety, different policy on how children should be protected. And also state level. So there's the global one, there's national, and there's state level policies that we can. So there's typically no excuse. There's no reason why children should not be protected. But is that what's happening today? I bet not.
Actually, I think that many people are not aware. Maybe parents are not even aware that there are policies safeguarding the right of the child, and that's how we see maybe some parents maltreating children, and maybe caregiver maltreating children and like that. But like it's everybody, we must know that there are policies around the child safety. There are policies around child safety, and I hope as you are watching, you are going to refer others to watch this YouTube video. Thank you.
All right, so I also like to ask, is it okay, like she said, parents, some of the parents are not aware of this policy, but also is it okay for a child also to be aware of the policies backing his or her treatment?
Definitely. So yes, children should be aware and that's where schools come in. Schools, educators, not just schools, learning centers, educators, and parents. So we ought to teach children what their rights are. You know, they need to know. And I think UNICEF has a lot of content around that already. The YouTube videos specifically created for children to understand their rights. It was made with like comics, cartoon, made into cartoon and all of that. So we need to ensure that any child in our own care, either in school or as a parent or as a guardian, have access to these resources. Let them know, because it's not really just about you as a parent or as an educator. What about the people they meet out there when they are away from your immediate surrounding? How do they know that what this person is doing to them is not right? So we need to let them know what is right and what is right and what is wrong as it pertains to them.
Okay, I have a question to go on that. How do we then balance disciplining a child and then the safety of a child?
Okay.
Because I feel some persons might actually she was talking about parents maltreating a child. Well, the parent might not know he or she is maltreating the child because he or she feels I am disciplining the child. So how do we balance the discipline and then the child safety?
Okay. So child safety does not mean that you should not instill discipline in your child. So when we say child safety, basically, if you want to instill discipline in your child, you also don't want to kill the child, right? You also don't want to ruin, the child either physically or emotionally.
Exactly.
So parents need to know the boundary between discipline and harming their children. They need to know. So things like corporal punishment being used on children, it's not right, either by parents or by school. It's not right. So how to balance the issue of child safety, child protection, and discipline is simply in, what the actions that you take. So beating children, I will leave that out of this topic because it's largely debatable. Some people feel that, yes, let's beat the let's beat the nonsense out of them. While some people say it's not right, and there's a lot of religious and cultural undertone to that. But as a parent and as an educator, you need to know what this document about child safety says, and decide. I think the first point is awareness. Then decide how you want to implement this in your home or in your schools.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't know if Moyemi has any questions to ask.
Yes. I would like to ask at this point that what measures should be put in place by educators and school owners to safeguard child's rights?
Okay. Measures by educators and school owners to ensure child safety. So for educators, I think like I said, awareness. They need to be aware. We need to know what's this the safety policy, what it says. Then they need to be able to recognize when something is wrong. Because around the topic of child safety is also child abuse. So how do you recognize that this particular learner is being abused? Because not every abuse are physical, some abuse are emotional, psychological. So how are you able to recognize that this child is struggling? Then after that, then you can then report the issue, maybe to your school authority, or bring it to the awareness of the parents and all of that. For schools, so every school needs to have a child safety policy created for themselves. So not just schools, any organization working with children, it's important that they have a policy that ensures that the children in their care are safe. So that's the starting point. Then you go another step higher by training everybody that work in your organization or in your school, training them on how to implement that policy. And that policy needs to cover, things like, for us, what is child abuse, what, who, when this happens, who do we report to, what are the actions that we take, so that policy, it will be very thorough, very detailed, spell out all the things that can go wrong and the actions that you will take, also there are some steps that you can also take physically to ensure that your environment are safe for children. So depending on which part of the world you are, there are security issues everywhere. So little things like ensuring that the environment is the school or the learning center is fenced, ensuring that the buildings are safe, for the children, built properly, the kind of resources you have within your facility, they are safe. You check regularly if things have gone wrong, all of those things should also be done.
Wow. Very, very profound.
Thank you so much, Ma.
May I add that there are also compliance issue around this thing, So different bodies that work with children, like Ministry of Education, that is why when Ministry of Education go around, they check all of these things. If your school don't have this and this and that, they check the way the buildings are built. Do you have enough window? Is it well ventilated? Do you have toilets, wash facility? Do you have first aid? Things like that. So there are compliance issues. So if you work with children, any organization that work with children, you have to ensure that you are compliant. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much. That was like profound. So please let's try all our best to maintain this policy. Let's look into this policy. Get yourself documents to read on it, and don't be ignorant of what is happening in the world right now. So please don't be, because many things are flying around, schools, parenting, everything, everywhere, and we have number of children being dead every day, and this is a very bad signal to almost all educators and parents out there. So please, let's ensure we put all this into practice. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode. But before we go, I don't know if Omoyemi have anything to say.
Really, our guest actually done a lot of justice to the topic, and so just get yourself aware on what you need to do and how to go about all of these things, what you need to learn. So to avoid repetition, we'll cut the cutting. Yeah.
Okay. I think you can also
Drop a link.
yes, there will be a link to some of these materials in the comment section.
Thank you so much. You have to watch it and invite other educators also to do so. Not only educators, parents also, to watch this and get themselves aware about what is going on in the world of children.
Thank you so much. So you can also follow us on our social media pages. We have our Instagram page, Bramble Network, our Facebook page, Bramble Network. So please try to follow us, and you really going to enjoy so many amazing things from us. All right, so we want to appreciate all our team members. We appreciate Miss Blessing Adedoja. We appreciate Miss Bolade Ajimisube, Mr. Opeyemi Okunade, and Mr. Oluwafemi. Thank you so much for being part of this show, and we say bye.